In this world, there is real evil. In the darkest shadows and in the most ordinary places. These are the true stories of the innocent and the unimaginable.
What's his name?
When Jan Foster comes face to face with her son's imaginary playmate, her world turns upside down. She seeks the power of ancient rituals, hoping to find the strength to save her son and cast out a demon hell-bent on possessing him. Between the world we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. Western Kentucky can be a mystical place, with its dark caves and twisting rivers. Some believe that evil spirits have wandered this land for centuries, lurking in the shadows, waiting to take another soul. Jan Foster knows every highway, street, and back road in Western Kentucky. As a courier for a national delivery service, she's probably been there. Jan's husband, Dale, is a contractor for the U.S. Postal Service. They both work hard to provide a good life for their two children, 5-year-old Cody and 16-year-old Pamela. A nanny stays with Cody during the day, but usually leaves when Jan or Dale gets home from work.
I need to have a word with you.
Okay.
One night, the nanny waits for Jan so she can speak with her in private.
I'm not one to judge, you know that, but Cody's been using some very bad language.
Well, what has he said?
I can't even repeat what he said.
I was totally shocked.
I don't know where
we don't
he's
talk
gonna-
like that at home.
To protect their privacy,
I don't know where he's
Jan
gonna-
Foster and her family
Maybe he's watching
have
TV.
agreed to tell their story on the condition of anonymity.
These were unspeakable words. He would threaten her. He defied her. He screamed at her. I did reassure her that he did not hear that type of language in our home, nor was he around it with anyone else. And we had no idea where he picked up this language.
There's more.
More?
Yeah, he's acting very strange. Cody?
Probably, maybe.
Cody's nanny suspects that he is an imaginary playmate.
Cody, it's time to go. I'm very concerned about him.
Okay, I'll talk to him. I promise I will.
See that you do.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
We should have saw the warning signal right then.
All right, get you tucked in, mister. And Mr. Bear with you, all snuggly. So tell me about your new friend. What's his name?
Man,
Just Man?
Yeah, he doesn't have a real name like John or George or his name is Man. And that was it.
Say our prayer, sweetie. Now I lay me down to sleep.
Most everybody has an imaginary playmate at some time in their childhood. There wasn't any other kids around here that age, so he was basically a loner.
Cody, go to bed. I mean it.
Dear kitty, come here. Come here, kitty. Come here. What? Good kitty.
What's the matter, honey?
I'm scared.
Come here.
She was hearing scratching noises like fingernails raking across the walls.
It's okay. You want to climb in bed here?
The next morning, Jan is exhausted.
We really need to start getting ready for...
Firefighters to the rescue! No, I want to stay here and play with my fire truck.
I overheard him in his room, actually carried on a conversation with this invisible playmate. It was, you want to play? No, I don't want to play with that. No, let's not do that. He was hearing something and responding to it.
Cody, who are you playing with?
I'm playing with man.
Well, tell your little friend bye-bye and come get dressed.
I don't want to.
Cody, you come get dressed now. Cody Foster, you listen to your mama. Pick those clothes off the floor right now and get dressed, or we're going to have a big time out, young man.
This friend was becoming a daily event.
So, Cody has an imaginary friend.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Well, that's kind of normal. What's his name?
How long have you been there, Cody? Listen, sit down. It's time to eat your breakfast. Have some cereal.
I'm not hungry. I want to play with man.
I thought, well, this is basic behavior. We tried to correct him with verbal correction. It didn't work.
Cody, listen to me. Eat your cereal.
No!
Cody!
No!
Cody! Get in the chair.
No! No!
Cody!
No! No!
I really felt like we needed to hear the whole story about this imaginary friend.
So tell us more about your new friend, Cody.
How old is he?
He's 6.
He tells them that man has brown hair, brown eyes, and pale skin.
Where'd he come from, Cody?
We asked him where man came from. He replied, from behind the park where the lake is, deep in the ground.
Did something happen to man, Cody?
He said that a stranger took him from his mommy and did terrible, terrible things to him. And he cried and he cried and screamed for his mommy, but his mommy never found him. And he never saw his mommy again.
Scream and cry all the time.
It's a chilling story.
Man's whole body was hurt.
A parent's worst nightmare.
After that, he finds the
Jan and Dale try to understand what he is telling them.
Is man dead, Cody?
Yes.
What's his name?
Man. The stranger took man away from his mommy.
Dale and Jan Foster are worried.
After that,
Jan believes their son has befriended the ghost of a murdered child. But Dale is not convinced.
I was not really concerned that anything bad was going on. I just thought he's just going through a change of some kind.
It's just a phase he's going through, Jan.
My way of thinking was it was something that he could have heard that he was repeating, because I just didn't believe in that stuff. I just didn't.
I don't think it's anything to worry about.
Well, I do. There's way too much detail. It's
This
too
filled me with a feeling of dread to know that this ghost of this child was actually making his home with my son.
Jan is determined to find the truth.
Just check the microfiche. What years did you look up?
I did search the local newspaper to see if there was any child murders in the last 30, 40 years. There was nothing that corresponded with that.
Looks good. Anything with kids?
I did feel that Cody had told us the truth, that this had been a little boy, but somewhere in the back of my mind was doubt, because we weren't coming up with any evidence to support this fact.
I have a sister. Her name is Pamela. She's nice, but she's too old to play with toys.
Cody, you want to read a story?
He didn't want us to tell stories. He didn't want to watch TV. He stopped interacting with the family.
What do you like?
Man became his best friend. I was angry.
I like dinosaurs.
We couldn't understand what was taking Cody's spirit away from us and changing him, and so drastically.
Jan is willing to try anything to get her son back. She calls an old friend, a Native American shaman, a medicine man, who she thinks can provide some insight. Dale is skeptical about meeting the shaman, but wants to support his wife.
I was concerned because I knew that something had really scared her, and I knew that she was upset.
I have seen this in our culture, even with younger children than Cody.
I told him about the events that were happening in the house and how they were escalating, how distant Cody was, his language, his attitude, and this imaginary friend just possessing him.
I believe your son invited this stone spirit into the house.
He explains that the only way to get rid of the spirit is to revoke the invitation by praying.
We've got to uninvite him.
Exactly. And you must be forceful when you do this.
And by using a traditional Native American ritual.
He would not perform the ceremony himself. He said the owner of the house has to do this.
So, what do we need to do?
So dry sage.
He instructed us to burn sage and sweetgrass and direct it around the four corners of the property.
Must burn throughout the house.
The shaman tells Jan she must also anoint the entryways to the house with olive oil
Invite him?
and pray for her son. The next morning, Jan waits until everyone has left the house for the day. She hopes and prays the ritual works.
Was I worthy enough of God for him to hear my prayers? My strongest pleas with him to help me through this, to help me cleanse this house and this property. I doubted myself
Protect our windows.
for brief moments that I wouldn't be able to. And it was the fear of knowing if it didn't work, what would happen then.
Please give this oil the power to protect our threshold of my house, keep it safe. Air and fire and wind. May this flame please protect us from this little boy. Protect us from this evil little boy spirit that's trying to enter our house.
Miraculously, the blessing seems to work.
What do you think of that rat? It's a big rat, isn't it?
There was no imaginary playmate. Cody became more playful. He was more responsive to the family needs.
Everything is fine for 3 months.
Call 911. Firefighters to the
he wasn't 100% back. But everything was pretty well quiet. So I felt that this ceremony did help.
We're coming to the rescue.
Cody was in the hallway, sitting down, playing with his little toys, making sound effects with his little trucks and cars. I was folding laundry.
911. 911.
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he started talking to man again. I could not move. And he carried on a little conversation for a little bit, and then he got very, very quiet.
Cody? 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 Cody?
He had something in his hand, and it was a photograph. And I said, "Where did you get this?" And I reached down to grab it.
Give it back! It's mine!
He went berserk.
Give it back! It's mine!
Calm down, honey. Honey, it's okay, baby. Shh, honey, it's okay. It's okay. Shh. It's okay.
It looked like an older Polaroid, maybe from the late 50s, early 60s. There was an elderly woman, like a grandmotherly type, and then there was a small boy.
Cody, who's in this picture? Who's in this picture, Cody?
Man,
Cody, where did you get this picture?
man gave it to me.
Is man dead, Cody?
The house is peaceful for nearly 3 months.
All right, Cody, here's your lunch. It's a sandwich and Jello. Okay, use your napkin now. Don't forget. Okay, sometimes you forget that. Goodness, Cody.
I don't want any stupid lunch!
Let's go.
Cody Foster, you have just earned yourself one major timeout, young man.
Man said I don't have to listen to you anymore! I don't have to do anything you said!
Alarms went off in my head that this being was telling my son what to do now.
Oh, please don't go.
No, I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore.
I-
Give that boy some counseling.
I'm sorry. Please don't talk to him. Please don't go. No, wait. Please.
Jan puts on a good face for the family.
I was the one experiencing most of his abusive behavior, and I was trying to cover it up and be rational. I was trying to be a mother. I was trying to keep the family together. I was hoping that maybe this would go away.
Cody, are you hungry?
I knew at this point that Cody was not my son anymore. There was no love, there was no hugging, there was no goodnight kisses.
Jan is afraid that something more sinister may be controlling her son.
He was a total stranger to me at this point. I really didn't know how to handle this. Around this time, I had to start taking him to a distant cousin to watch him while we worked.
Now, Cody, remember, you do not take man inside there today. Do you understand me, son? You leave man behind. Cody?
Hey!
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Hi, Miss Kaylee.
You gonna say hi?
Remember your cousin Kaylee, don't you, Cody?
Hey, Cody, how are you?
Tammy, thank you so much. I so appreciate this.
Don't worry about it. They're gonna have a lot of fun playing together. They'll be
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
You ready to come inside? Show you some toys in here?
Call me if there's anything you need, okay?
I will. You're welcome. You just have a great day at work.
It's bye. Bye.
Hey, guys.
Jen, you got a phone call?
Jan is working when she receives an urgent phone call.
Hey, this is Jan.
It's her
Oh, hey,
cousin.
Jody. No, it's okay. What's going on?
She was incoherent.
He what? No, it's
She was
okay.
crying.
Okay, tell me about it. What happened?
She just kept repeating, "Come
Okay.
get Cody now.
I'm coming.
I cannot watch him anymore."
Okay, I'm coming. I'll be right there. Bye. Shep, I got to go. Family emergency. I'll call you. I promise.
What on earth happened? What is wrong with him? What happened? I don't know. My daughter is in there freaking out. She's terrified.
At first, she thought that he was changing his voice, but she noticed that this was a deeper voice. She totally freaked.
Toys floating in the air? What is wrong with him?
She said that she was afraid of him
I can't put her in that situation.
and that her daughter wouldn't play with Cody anymore.
He what?
What on earth happened?
Cody, why did you take man with you to Tammy's? I told you not to. Why did you?
Jan doesn't know what to do. She has to find someone to look after Cody, and she can't afford to lose her job.
Hi. Yes, my name is Jan Foster. I have a son, Cody. I'm wondering if you have any openings at your daycare. You do? Great. Can we start tomorrow? Wonderful. Oh, thank you. Okay, we'll see you at 7. Thank you. Bye-bye. Cody, listen to me. Tomorrow we're starting a new daycare. And you cannot, son, bring man with you.
I repeatedly
understand?
warned him, do not take man to this house. Leave him here at home.
Do you understand me?
Cody agrees and keeps his promise. But at night, man waits for him to come home.
Cody, supper's ready.
Cody begins destroying his own toys.
Cody, why are you cutting up your bear?
Man said it would be fun.
No, you shouldn't cut up your toys, son. Come on, let's go to supper. Leave the scissors. Don't be cutting up your toys anymore.
For Dale, the incident is disturbing, but not so unusual that it causes him to blame it on anything paranormal.
He was cutting up his teddy bear.
What?
Have you seen him do anything like this before?
You saw Cody cutting up this?
He was sitting on the floor, he had the scissors, and he was cutting up the teddy bears. And he told him that man said it was okay.
No, but this is pretty violent.
What do you think we should do?
Cody, where's my cat? Cody, what the heck are you doing? How could you? What happened?
Cody's behavior has hit an all-time low.
I came and he was sitting on her. Cody!
Cody, why were you trying to hurt the kitty?
Man said it would be fun.
Cody, I don't want you to ever hurt the kitty like that again. Do you hear me?
His demeanor became just horrible. I mean, just frightfully horrible. I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, trying to cope with all this.
Jan, I just had to talk to him. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what he's doing that for.
Dale, he just tried to kill the cat.
I know. I'm at my wit's end with him.
I
What
could
am I
not
gonna
be
do?
rational anymore. We had to finally come face to face that this boy had a problem.
It's not my boy.
Jan is afraid of what he'll do next.
You know, Cody, I've asked you many times to help Mama clean up your room. You're big enough now that you can help me out with some chores around here, young man. I've got a lot to do around here, and if you at least picked up your clothes and put your toys away, it would really help me.
One morning, as Jan is cleaning, she notices that everything in Cody's closet is wet.
Oh. Ew. Cody, are you peeing in the closet?
I discovered that he had urinated all over his toys, in his toy box, all over his clothes.
Man said it's okay.
Well, it's not okay, Cody. You go pee in the bathroom, not in the closet.
Man said you don't have to listen to you anymore.
Even after all Jan has been through, Cody's response is a shock.
I don't have to listen to you anymore. I don't have to do anything you say. Because man said I don't have to.
Cody, Cody, what are you doing? Cody, stop it! Stop it, Cody! It's Mama! Stop it!
I was becoming fearful of my own son.
Cody, what the heck are you doing?
Everything started happening at such a fast pace. The behavior, the urinating, trying to kill the kitten.
Finally, Cody becomes frustrated with man.
Mama,
What's wrong, baby doll?
Mama.
He said, my bed is shaking.
My
Mama.
bed is shaking.
I need you.
Come here, sweetie. Come on.
For that moment, I saw the little boy I had not seen in over a year. He was reaching out to me. I hadn't been able to hold him like that for a long time. I knew for that instant that man was not with him. I was ready to confront this being. I waited till he fell asleep in my arms. I got out of the bed. I stood in front of his doorway to his room.
God, please give me the strength to go through with this.
I wanted to know what this child was going through. I wanted to try and put myself in his place, in Cody's place. I wanted to see if man would somehow communicate with me.
Cody? Come here, babe.
His body was growing into this entity. He started laughing very demonically. This sudden realization came over me. This was man.
Honey, what is it? What happened? Why are you screaming? Baby, what's wrong? What's wrong, baby? Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'll be okay.
Sure.
I calmed the family down as best I could.
Okay.
I told him to go back to bed.
Okay.
Cody put his little hand in mine, and he was squeezing it reassuringly. And he was looking at me as if to say, see, Mommy, it wasn't me.
I saw a man. I understand now.
And we held each other for a very long time. And I felt that at that moment, with that powerful love around us, that man could not intervene.
Later that night, while her family sleeps, Jan prays for guidance.
Please protect us. Don't leave us, God.
The total realization of the truth of what man was hit me.
Please. Bring my baby back.
I knew I had to do something about it to protect my family.
What's wrong, baby doll?
Mama, I need you.
I was frightened beyond means, but another part of me, the adrenaline started surging. I knew I had to face this. I knew I had to do something to protect my family and to protect Cody and to keep this entity from taking him any further.
God, tell me what to do.
Jan considers packing up the family In her heart, she knows it won't do any good. Man follows Cody everywhere.
Cheerleading practice today, right? Yeah. Okay.
I got everybody off to work and school and got
Did you grab your lunch?
Yeah, I've got it, thanks.
Cody to the daycare.
Be good today, okay? You make your mama proud. Behave. Everything's gonna be okay, baby. I promise. Go. I promise.
Hello?
Hi, Shaman, it's Jan.
I need help. I want this
Thing out of my house.
I understand. You did what I told you to do.
No, I need help. I've seen him. Yeah, Cody's playmate. It's not a little boy. It's
a man. It's
demon. It's this
I
huge...
told him I do not think we were dealing with the spirit of a little boy, that we're dealing with something more demonic.
It's not a little boy.
He, in turn, told me now he can understand why the first time we blessed the house it didn't work. We weren't specific enough.
Yes, I understand.
We thought we were dealing with the spirit of a small child. That's what we was asking to leave our home.
I remember.
You have to start with Cody's room. Work
The
your way
shaman
towards the
tells
center of the
her
house.
she will have to bless the house again. Only this time, she must focus on ridding the house of an evil spirit.
I want this thing out of my house.
After her first failure, Jan wonders if she can do it alone.
Thank you. Bye.
I'm just a mom. Albeit I have a very strong spiritual side, but I'm not a priest. I'm not a shaman. I was just a mom, and I was fighting for my family.
The shaman tells Jan she will have to be very forceful with her prayers. She must not show any doubt.
I got the olive oil and the sage and the sweetgrass. I started out on the four corners of the property. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, am I going to be attacked?
The Lord is my shepherd.
I was in constant prayer, and I felt as I went along doing this blessing and the house cleansing, I became stronger, I became braver, I became more confident.
And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. God, give me strength. God, give me strength. Lord, forgive me of my sins and make me worthy of your love. Grant me the strength, courage, and guidance of your hands to rid my home of this entity called man. Chocolate? You gonna get one scoop or two? Two?
I was feeling a much needed essence of peace. I finished the outside and I came to the front door. It was very cold in here, extremely cold, and I could feel a presence. I thought, well, the wind is gonna break. Is the house gonna shake?
He anoints my head with oil. My cup overflows.
I felt at times that I was just gonna lose it.
My cup overflows. My head with oil. My cup overflows. Give me the strength and protection.
I repeatedly asked for strength to finish this, to ban this entity from our home.
To make me worthy of your love.
I demanded, very loud in a screaming tone, that he was to go back from whence he came.
Return from whence you came, never to return again. Return from whence you came, never to return again. Return from whence you came, never to return again. In the name of our God, our Creator, the Holy Spirit, forever and ever. Amen.
Man is finally gone. Jan can feel it.
I was very exhausted. Could see the world again. It was like a veil had lifted, a dark veil of pain and confusion. I noticed the trees, I could hear the birds. I was back to reality.
The nightmare is over. Jan Foster finally has her son back.
He actually ran to me. Mommy, Mommy. Look what I drew. Look what I did. And I remember holding him and just crying and crying, and again giving my thanks to God.
Oh, and then we get to have a song.
We still feel things around here. We still experience the noises, the feeling of someone watching you. When things do happen around here, it's the first thought that runs through my mind, that this could be man trying to get into our lives again.
Is there anyone here tonight who would like to speak through me?
After a night of ghost stories takes an unexpected turn,
Sam.
everything changes.
He was just feeling out of sorts. That something was off.
And the dead are summoned back to life.
The paranormal is not all fun and games. It can be deadly serious.
Every hair on my body stood up because you're in the presence of something dangerous.
The living must fight to survive.
I thought that I was about to die. I was preparing to die.
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see
Someone's in my room.
and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality.
My name is Sam Baltrusis. What scares me about the paranormal, my biggest fear is possession. I went in having a night of fun, celebrating Halloween, and it turned into a night of terror. Whatever was happening to me was taking over and was destroying me.
Salem, Massachusetts, is a city deeply invested in its rich, paranormal history. Haunted by the witch trials of the 1690s, the atmosphere surrounding Salem can be bone-chilling.
Salem, Massachusetts is probably the most haunted city in America. You can feel it bubbling beneath the surface.
And few know Salem's history better than paranormal researcher and author Sam Baltrusis.
I've written 10 historical-based ghost books. So I'm a historian first, and then the paranormal stuff was secondary.
In October of 2016, Sam is hired by a local historical society to perform in a Halloween benefit party held at a nearby mansion, the Pierce Farm at Witch Hill.
My job was to tell a ghost story. It was like a theatrical performance, and I was supposed to be a certain character. They didn't tell me what character to do. They said, we want you to tell a ghost story. We want it to be really creepy. Now, when you go to the Pierce Farm at Witch Hill, you see the library. It's like an author's dream come true. And the energy in that room is just amazing.
That night, Sam's friend Mike also takes part in the presentation.
Thank you so much for your help with this. You're a good friend.
Of course, of course. So this is your room for the night, huh?
This is our room for the night. You're handling the special effects, and that's an important job.
Right.
From the time that I met Sam, he was always very open about his interest and involvement in the paranormal world. I thought it was very fascinating.
The idea behind this event was to dress up as Victorian-era steampunk.
Steampunk fashion combines styles from the Victorian age with technology from science fiction.
Ah, Sam. So good to see you. Sean Ward. I'm the owner of Pierce Farm.
Thanks so much for the invitation. We are so excited to get going.
Absolutely. Well, as you can obviously see, this is our beautiful library, and this is where you'll be telling your ghost story. Actually, in the 1690s, Mary Easty, one of the accused Salem witches, was arrested on this very property. And this is Benjamin Crowninshield. He was the Secretary of the Navy and built this mansion.
Crowninshields were a very prominent family in Salem in the early 1800s. They had a shipping business. Benjamin Crowninshield built the original mansion.
This is Benjamin's cousin, Richard, the black sheep of the family.
Richard Crowninshield had a terrible reputation in Salem. He was an alcoholic, he was a gambler, he owed people money, he was a criminal.
Richard was hired to murder a boat captain by the name of Joseph White. He bludgeoned him to death with a club in his sleep.
Richard Crowninshield. He's the subject of my ghost story tonight.
Really? Then I have something to show you.
When I heard that Sam was going to do stories about Richard Crowninshield, I thought that was really cool because he had tied his ghost stories to the history of the property and the families that had lived there.
Here it is. We found this walking stick in the mansion when we bought the property. We think it was here from the time that the Crowninshields lived here.
When I touched the stick, I actually felt the energy associated with that stick and who owned that stick. So So I felt like I was being transported back to the 1800s.
Could I use this in my show tonight?
Of course. Have fun scaring everyone tonight.
Sam was a great fit for telling ghost stories at Pierce Farm. You could tell that he was really ready to give it his all.
I was very excited to hear Sam's presentation. He definitely had that presence that really grabbed people in.
Hey, Sam, how many groups are coming through?
We'll have 6, so we're telling the story 6 times.
Okay.
Oh, during my performance, when I do 3 times, that's your cue for the special effects.
My goal that night was to entertain the audience, and it was also to educate them about history.
So here are our first group. All right, here we go. Good evening. Hello. Get comfortable, folks. And welcome to the Crowning Shield Room. My name is Sam Baltrusis. And as many of you know, this home was once owned by Benjamin Crowninshield. But we're not here to talk about him tonight. No. Tonight, we're going to meet his cousin, Richard the Murderer. On the night of April 6, 1830, a night with a full moon, Richard crawled in to the window of Salem shipmaster Captain Joseph White. He had a bludgeon that he had made himself. He was proud of that instrument of death. He walked up to the peacefully sleeping Captain White and whacked him again and again, violently. But he wasn't through. He then took a knife and stabbed him 13 times around his heart. Richard Crowninshield was a cold-blooded murderer. Now, we've all heard ghost stories. But the real question is, have you ever seen or talked to a ghost?
I talked about this story with Richard Crowninshield, and then I talked about the murder of Captain Joseph White, and then things started getting dark really fast.
Sam suddenly turns his ghost story into a seance.
Is there anyone here tonight who would like to communicate with us? Is there anyone who I will give permission to enter my body who would like to speak through me?
I thought I saw somebody walking behind Sam. I thought, we are definitely in the presence of someone here.
Is there anyone who can come forward now?
Historian Sam Baltrusis is hired to tell a ghost story during a Halloween-themed benefit at a mansion outside Salem, Massachusetts. But Sam takes his performance too far.
Is there anyone who I will give permission to enter my body who would like to speak through me?
So in the middle of the evening, when I was in the closet door, I thought I saw a figure walk directly behind Sam.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the Crowninshield room tonight. It's been my pleasure to scare you.
Thank you. Good night. What's the matter?
I don't know. I just, I could have sworn somebody was here. It's just during your performance.
When I came out to talk to Sam, I told him, I just thought I saw somebody walking directly behind you.
Mike, I'm the only one up here.
I know.
I had about 10 to 15 minutes in between each session.
Sam.
I looked in the mirror and I looked sort of deformed.
Mike, get your phone. Take a picture of me. Quick.
What's wrong?
Do I look okay to you?
Yeah, you look fine.
The next group's coming.
I knew something was happening to me, but I wasn't really sure what was going on.
Welcome to the Crown and Shield room. I'm Sam Baltrusis. And on April 6, 1830, Richard Crown and Shield entered the house.
He was looking very tired and run down. My gut was telling me that something was wrong.
He whacked him! And he whacked him! He then took a knife and stabbed him 13 times around the heart and escaped into the night.
Second session, I felt like they were kind of gathered around me, and I felt kind of like maybe they were judgmental of me. I felt like that they thought that I was a bad person, or the way they looked at me while I was telling the story.
Is anyone here who wants to speak through me?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the Crown and Shield room. Good night.
Although Sam's mind is racing, he manages to finish all 6 performances.
When all the stories were done, Sam just looked very run down.
Everyone is raving about you. You were a hit. I cannot thank you enough for being a part of this event.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. And I can't forget to give this to you.
Oh, well, you're not leaving, are you? We have a party out in the barn. There's food and dancing.
I've been sober for many years. And in the past, if I had a paranormal experience, I would use alcohol to self-medicate.
No, we have to go.
Oh, right now?
And I was craving alcohol, and I wasn't in control. I was mortified.
Mike?
Yes. Okay, I'm ready.
Listen, I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling well.
I understand. Thanks again.
Sam seemed different when he left. Sam wasn't the same person that I had first met when he showed up. His personality had changed.
I thought he was so adamant to get home because I thought it might have been a headache. I thought it might have been the onset of a cold. If Sam had told me that night that he had the need to drink, it would have deeply concerned me.
As we were driving home, I knew something was really wrong.
Sam wasn't engaging in as much conversation as he usually does. He was just very uncomfortable. It seemed like he was sweating.
I can tell something's on your mind.
It's just the people back at the event, they were laughing at me. They were laughing at me. They made me feel like a freak at a freak show.
Sam, I don't know why you think like that. I didn't see any of that.
I was reassuring him that he did a great job and that his storytelling was totally top-notch.
While I was in the car, my body was doing something else than what my mind was watching going on.
Sam.
I was physically holding myself in the chair. And then I felt the urge, like I couldn't even control my hand.
Sam. Man, scare me, man. What are you doing?
Sam was not acting like himself. Sam was extremely scared.
You okay? What's going on, Sam? What are you doing, Sam?
Is there anyone who would like to speak through me?
After experiencing what he believes is a paranormal encounter at a performance in Salem, Massachusetts, Sam Baltrusis finds he is not in his right mind.
What are you doing, Sam?
My hand was moving up to unlock the door, but I wasn't doing it. I was trying to fight this urge to open up the car door for me to jump out.
Sam! What the hell are you doing? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
I cannot imagine Sam ever opening the car door while the car was in motion. That terrified me beyond belief.
I just want to go home.
Okay.
When I dropped Sam off at home, I was very concerned for his health. Sam told me that he felt extremely tired, malaised, and that he couldn't wait to get back to his bed.
As soon as I got home, I'm like, okay, maybe this will go away. Maybe I'll get over what was going on. I tried to go to bed multiple times, but then I wasn't sure if I was sleeping or blacking out. I felt the urge to hurt myself. I had that desire to jump off the balcony. I was able to kind of come out of what I was doing while I was standing at the balcony. That's when I started really questioning what's going on. I was not in control of my physical body. That was terrifying.
A few days later, Sam's friend, Mike, comes over to check on him.
After I dropped him off at home on that Sunday night, there was at least a full day, where I was worried about him completely.
So you, you woke up in the balcony and you had no memory how you got there?
Yeah. It was like I was sleepwalking or something, you know, and I had this urge to just climb over the railing. Look, I know this sounds crazy, right?
Like, I'm worried about you, Sam. You don't answer my calls, my texts. No one has seen you since the benefit. You haven't had a drink, right?
No! No, I have not!
Hey, okay.
One of the biggest issues with people who are former alcoholics is isolation, and he was concerned because I was isolating.
I thought that something was very off. Not only did I notice that he was looking very tired and run down, but something else was coming into play that was affecting Sam at that moment.
Sam finds himself having dark thoughts.
Hey, Sam.
It was in a very sick way, and it's hard for me to even talk about it because it was these thoughts of hurting other people.
I've been calling your name and you're just standing there. What's going on?
Mike, you gotta go.
What? What are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere. Sam, something's wrong.
I was worried that I was somehow gonna hurt Mike in some way, and that really, really scared me.
Sam.
Something's not... Look, I can't explain it.
I was trying to hide anything that could be a weapon because I felt like I was gonna hurt other people.
To have a friend who was hurting so much really gave me a lot of sadness. The fact that Sam was not able to let me in and to be there as his line of support was crippling.
Just, look, take these.
Sam.
And get out.
Sam, listen, whatever you're going through, I'm here for you.
I know.
Sam is a very easygoing guy who's, very friendly and very upbeat. But this version of Sam was unlike any that I had seen before.
Sam believes what is happening to his mind and his body may not be of this world.
I felt like that it was definitely something paranormal. What part of the paranormal, I wasn't really sure. I did do this whole seance event at Pierce Farm at Witch Hill. I thought maybe it was another spirit in the house or it was related to other events. I mean, I gave tours in Salem, Massachusetts, so it could have been anything.
Sam knows whatever is controlling his mind is powerful, and he's not taking any chances.
Because I didn't trust myself while I slept, I got a rope and I would tie myself to the bed while I went to sleep because I didn't know if I was going to end up falling off that balcony or jumping off that balcony while I was sleeping. So imagine being in bed and being tied to the bed and not knowing what's going to happen. So that was terrifying.
If any spirit or entity has somehow entered my home, you're not welcome here. Leave now.
It came very clear the entity was saying, do it, do it. I thought do it meant for me to kill myself.
No.
Author Sam Baltrusis believes he is being stalked by something paranormal.
I was fighting something that was more powerful than me, and I couldn't control what was going on. I was thinking, maybe I'm possessed. What was going through my mind at this moment is I need help, and I don't know what to do.
Over the next few days, Sam refuses to leave his house or return any calls.
He was keeping a lot of us at arm's length, and that was not like him at all.
Every day was getting worse and worse. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating. My mind was chaotic. My friends would call and I would not respond to them. Because I was embarrassed to be open about what's going on. The scariest thing about this is that I didn't have control and that something else was in control of my body.
Under the influence of someone else's control, Sam posts on social media asking for a human skeleton.
There was a war going on inside me. I was fighting so hard, but I was getting tired.
I became worried about Sam because he was posting some really strange things on social media. I decided I really needed to talk to him. I was worried about him.
Sam, open the door!
It's now been a week since the Halloween benefit. Sam still hasn't left his house.
Open the door! Now!
Sam and I have been friends for a number of years, mostly through our books. We're both paranormal authors. Sam and I often put ourselves in the line of fire. We go to the most haunted locations, the most severe hauntings, because we're trying to document it. So it can be quite dangerous for us. And I wondered if Sam had had some kind of attachment, if something had followed him home.
Hey, we've all been trying to call you. What's going on? Sam, I saw your post about needing a human skeleton for an experiment of some sort. What's going on? This isn't like you.
I was getting to the point where I was completely blacking out and I have no memory whatsoever what was going on. So I was trying to remember what I did while I was out. I was so afraid that my window of being conscious was getting smaller and smaller.
Sam, I'm here. You can talk to me. Tell me what's going on. You can tell me anything.
Really?
Yeah.
I was born as sensitive, so I am able to detect ghosts and spirits from a very early age.
That's good because it makes me feel so much better. Did you care? Oh, bye-bye, Joni.
I believe that Sam had a very bad negative attachment. The first stage is infestation when they're in your house. The second stage is oppression. And they basically start altering your personality. I really do believe that Sam was in an oppression state.
Sam?
I need help. I need help. You've got to help me. Something has me. I need help.
I'm gonna go get you help right now, I promise.
Help who?
It wasn't the normal Sam. He was a different person. That wasn't Sam.
Help who?
Sam Baltrusis is struggling to regain control of his mind and body. He believes he is being possessed by something evil.
I was not in control of my actions and I felt so helpless, so powerless. I felt like not living would be better than what I was going through.
Sam's friend, Joni, reaches out to the only person she knows can help him, a shaman named Michael Robichaud.
I knew Sam needed help, and things were only going to get worse as time progressed. At that point, I knew we needed to reach out to Michael.
Joni will call me with the most extreme situations. She told me this is very urgent at this point.
What exactly is a shaman?
I heal people, like yourself. But instead of working with medicine, I communicate with the spiritual side of things.
A shaman is a Native American, what they would call a medicine man. A shaman brings in positive energy and dispels negative energy. I spiritually cleanse people and remove negative entities from people's houses and from attachments to them personally and physically.
May I?
Yeah.
Michael has the ability to sense what Sam is dealing with. It's a powerful entity controlling his mind and hell-bent on destroying his life.
Every hair on my body stood up. I felt that, Sam was definitely in serious trouble if I didn't do something as soon as possible.
I believe that you are being oppressed by a very negative spirit. And if you don't receive some help, it's going to possess you completely. Sam, I'm going to help you, but I need you to listen to me. The spirit that has attached itself to you was evil in life, and it is evil in death.
What do you want me to do?
When Michael Robichaud and I first connected, I felt like that we were meant to meet each other. I felt like that he was sort of sent from above to help me.
I'm gonna need you to promise me that you're gonna fight for your life, all right? This is not a time to give up or give in. I need you to come with me, all right? If you would, just lie down right here.
Michael uses holy water and salt to create a barrier of protection around Sam. He then calls upon his spirit guides to draw out the entity in order to banish him.
Sam, almost everybody in the world has spirit guides. These guides help us through life. My spirit guides are very powerful. They have the ability to battle this negative spirit that's attached to you. And I'm going to call on them now.
I believe in Catholic prayer, and I still believe in a lot of the Catholicism because it's one of the older religions and it works.
Michael, the Archangel, guide us in battle. Protect us from the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray.
When Michael started the cleansing process, he said, at this time, the spirits are going to be activated
God rebuke him.
to get rid of the negative entity that's attached to you.
The Archangel, guide us in battle. Protect us from the wickedness and snares of the devil.
I immediately felt like there was a ringing in my ears, like as if the spirit guides were being awoke and coming to protect me.
May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. Michael, the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil.
I actually physically saw the spirits, which is not normal for a cleansing ceremony. I immediately felt the desire to go to sleep. I passed out.
It becomes a spiritual battle at that point because the entity that is in Sam, of course, does not want to leave.
Shaman Michael Robichaud is calling upon spirit guides to free Sam Baltrusis from an evil entity.
May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. How do you feel?
Good. Clear. Like I've been asleep for weeks.
People usually say that.
I felt like I was completely liberated when the cleansing happened. I felt like my life was returned.
What happened?
You were attacked by a very negative entity. In life, this guy was a real bad guy. I'm picking up that he was from a prominent family, but he had a very dark side.
Sam's attachment was so negative and so heavy. It wasn't a demon, it definitely was a human. I knew it had committed heinous crimes previous to its death. This attachment was very dangerous.
He murdered someone and actually went to jail for it.
Yes. And he was hanged. Oh my God.
There was a moment of like, oh my gosh, this may be Richard Crowninshield.
Wait, you know who the negative spirit was?
Richard Crowninshield. You described him perfectly. I was doing a presentation, a ghost story, and I invited him into my body to speak through me.
Sam, you have to protect yourself.
Sam made a mistake by doing that. You're spiritually opening the gates to a negative spirit because they're the ones that are waiting to suck your energy out of you and find other ways of creating havoc in your life.
Don't ever do that again.
I believe Sam learned that becoming a conduit was a valuable lesson learned, that you should not do that ever, and if you do, this is what's going to happen.
Believe me, I've learned my lesson.
Good.
Michael, thank you. Thank you for my life.
My pleasure.
There's a happy medium where you can communicate with the spirits and they'll communicate back with you without opening yourself up for them possibly to attach to you.
Want some sugar, Mike?
No, I'm good. Thanks, man.
People ask me if you have any regrets in life, and I say that I have one regret, and it was allowing Richard Crowninshield into my body or into my life.
It's good to have you back, man.
It's good to be back.
He was sociable again, he was very upbeat, and he was ready to take on the world. That made me feel extremely happy and relieved that my friend was back.
So what you got going next?
Will you help me on my next show?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. I'm always gonna be here for you.
I can see a future again. I can also see a light at the end of the tunnel. I also felt like that there was hope and that I can use what happened to me as a way to help other people.
Yeah, but I do have some ideas, though.
And by the fact that I was able to survive this made me stronger.
Chris Gibbons thinks he's found the house of his dreams, but it soon becomes a house of horrors.
That house, it's his, and he doesn't want you in it.
An evil spirit infects Chris's every waking moment. And when night comes, things take an even darker turn.
I would hear my dad screaming in the middle of the night.
Stop! To defeat the entity, Chris will need to summon unimaginable strength to save his home, his family, and his sanity. In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality.
I ask for whatever lives in this cabinet to be ripped from the earth and sent to a place where evil lives. I ask for whatever lives in this cabinet to be ripped from the earth and sent to a place where evil lives.
You gonna play some music for Mommy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is everybody ready?
Yep.
The Gibbons family plays traditional Irish music at events in their hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Chris, an attorney, and his wife Kay have 4 children: Andrew, Samuel, Sarah, and Patrick. Chris believes the band is an important family activity.
The family band puts everyone in a position where, in order to make music, you have to work together.
The family has no idea, but working together just may save their lives later on. The Gibbons have outgrown their old house, and Chris thinks he's found a perfect new one in a neighborhood called Heritage Hill.
Heritage Hill is a nationally recognized historic district. All of the houses have to be maintained in their original condition. So it is, to a degree, a step back in time.
The house seems to fit the family's size requirement.
The house was large. It had great bones. Everything seemed to be in place. It just needed a lot of love and attention.
Come on. Imagine what it's gonna look like when I'm done with it.
I was getting a hankering to take on a new project.
It took 9 years to renovate their old house. Kay does not want to spend another 9 on this project.
The house needed a tremendous amount of work. And this was a great concern to me because I just wanted to move in and get on with life.
I know this is your dream house, but the kids need a house they can live in.
I said, I'll tell you what, I'll get it done in a year if that makes you happy.
Really? No, when would you sleep?
I knew he could do it because he's crazy that way. If he sets his mind into something, he's gonna do it.
I made the offer that day to purchase the house.
Chris works nights and weekends to get the house ready to move in. The 1-year ticking clock for renovation begins. A week after buying the house, Chris is in the basement, clearing out the previous owner's junk.
There was quite a bit of the workshop material left. I decided to hang on to some of the hand tools because they appeared as though they might be useful. You never know.
Little does Chris know the significance of the former owner's possessions. Chris works in the basement past midnight. He feels someone or something watching him.
There would be a sensation that someone or something was kind of like hanging over you, but there really isn't anything there.
Chris attributes this sensation to exhaustion.
Hey, guys!
A few months later, the Gibbons family moves into the house.
What do you think? Is it big? Is it amazing?
Yeah.
You like that, huh?
Huge. Biggest kid, biggest room.
It's the kids' first good look at the house. Sarah Gibbons is 7 years old. She appears in shadow to protect her privacy.
The first time I saw the house, I remember I thought it was huge, like a castle, like it was made for royalty.
The major renovation projects are done, but Chris still has to put on the finishing touches. Two nights later, Chris is up long after the family is asleep, restoring the living room to its former glory.
I hear a breath, like a gasp. I just couldn't figure out what possibly could have moved enough air to have unsecured the plastic in the first place.
The next morning, Kay makes breakfast for the children.
Where is your brother?
Upstairs.
Patrick? Patrick? Patrick, breakfast!
Okay.
Patrick?
Mommy.
There's my little man. Are you ready for some breakfast?
I go sit a spot at the table.
Another spot at the table? What? Your little robot?
No, if I only in my room.
My son wasn't really scared. He just like, there's a man in this room.
What man in your room?
With his hair like this.
All right.
Well, young man, it is time for you to stop fooling around and have your breakfast.
I thought it was just a figment of his imagination. I just was thinking he made it up. That's what little kids do.
3 months after moving into the house, Chris finishes the restoration of the living room.
You guys ready? Yeah! You sure? Yeah! Here we go! Ta-da! Phase 1 of the restoration is complete. Ahead of schedule.
Can we come see?
Come on in, let's go.
The work and the result exceeded my expectations.
It was a lot for Chris. He had a full law practice. He renovated the house, but he made it work. He got it done, and he's the man. And I knew that the rest of the work was going to be done within a year.
I think I'm gonna take a nap.
You deserve one.
Okay?
I'm here.
When I woke up, it was in the middle of the night and not the afternoon.
What happened?
Nothing. It was just a crazy dream.
I mean, it's kind of an odd dream to have, but who knows what your subconscious can cook up.
Chris is afraid to explain to Kay what he actually saw in his dreams. They fall back asleep, unaware that their real nightmare is just beginning. Chris and Kay Gibbons are renovating their dream home, unaware they have stirred up much more than a century of dust. On the same night that Chris has a horrifying nightmare, Kay experiences her own chilling reality.
It felt like a hand was on my ankle and moving up my leg, like somebody was rubbing my leg.
What?
No. I think we have mice.
I've been over every inch of this house. We have no mice.
No, there was something crawling up my leg.
Look, there's nothing. Come on. Let's go back to bed.
It wasn't a mouse. It wasn't Chris. I didn't know what else it could be. So we went back to sleep, and that was that.
A few nights later, Chris is once again having trouble sleeping.
I felt near my head tapping on my pillow as though someone were pushing on it, you know, with a finger. You don't really know what to think of that at first. And you think, well, whatever. And it happens again.
Chris and Kay have the same paranormal experience, independent of each other. Over the next few weeks, Chris and Kay try to ignore the bizarre incidents in their home. Chris continues working half days in his law practice, restoring the house in the afternoons and evenings.
As I hit the ground, I wake up, completely unnerved, in an utter state of panic. I felt as though all of that actually happened to me. I felt completely assaulted. It was, to me, a real assault.
Over the next month, Chris is haunted by nightmares of his own death that blur the line between his dream world and reality.
Stop! Get out!
Chris suspects the recurring dreams are paranormal in nature.
I concluded that there was an entity, a spirit in my home that did not want me there. And the fact that I couldn't see it and couldn't fight it didn't mean I didn't feel a desire to defend myself. To me, it was an assault.
Chris does not reveal to his children his suspicions that the house may be haunted. He does not want to scare them. But Chris's secret can't be kept for long.
Mom, I was upstairs playing guitar and then all of a sudden just clapping.
All right, Andrew, son, come on, calm down. All right, the house is 100 years old. I mean, every now and then you're gonna get a pop and a crack.
But not in perfect rhythm.
We tried to tell him there's a logical explanation for your experience, and he was quite adamant that there was not a logical explanation for what he had experienced.
The logical explanation is this house is haunted.
Kay and I had reached the point where we believed we were dealing with a spiritual problem in terms of a ghost. Our initial reaction to our son was to waylay his fears. We certainly weren't going to do anything to encourage the idea that there's a ghost in the house and it was in his room haunting him. But he really wasn't buying it.
Chris and Kay realize they can no longer try to ignore the strange activity.
We have to do something.
I'm working on it.
We decided I would call the priest because we felt that we had a spiritual problem on our hands that was beyond our capability to deal with.
Hey, Father, how you doing? Morning, Chris.
Chris finds even broaching the subject of a ghost difficult.
Well, we've been having some issues at the house.
I informed him that the entire household was experiencing odd occurrences, that it was disruptive to the house.
My son, we're all spiritual beings, but ghosts as you're describing them, I'm afraid they don't exist. My suggestion would be for you to go home and pray with your family.
The priest declines Chris's request for a blessing of the house.
Well, thank you, Father. I appreciate your time.
But to battle the supernatural in his own home, Chris will have to find his own strength within and unite his family in the fight.
We felt like we were on our own. This was our problem, and we were going to have to solve it.
The Gibbons family is trying to come to grips with a dark spirit that seems to be haunting their house. Chris Gibbons goes to the library and checks out every book he can find on ghosts and hauntings.
I did what I naturally do, which is try to define the problem, define what it is I'm dealing with. What is the risk? What is this spirit capable of? I had really no idea. Can it attack my family physically? I mean, the idea that there can be ghosts that start fires and your house burns down, or people get pushed down the stairs, or the idea of a spiritual possession.
What's all this stuff?
Research. I mean, I've got to figure out what we're up against.
I didn't want a full-scale war in my house with a spirit.
What's in this folder?
I pulled some of the city records.
For more clues, Chris pulls City Hall records on the house's history. He discovers the century-old home had just 3 owners before he bought it. Then, he finds something intriguing.
Here you go.
Chris has no idea he is looking at a photo of the man his son had seen in the hallway.
That's who Sarah talked about.
Chris and Kay decide to ask neighbors about the home's previous owners.
I knew the family that lived here. They lived here a long time.
They learned the most recent were a married couple who lived there for 50 years. The husband died in the home 20 years earlier. The widow remained until she moved into a nursing home just before the Gibbons family moved in.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. I think I know what's going on with our ghost. You know, what if it's the dead husband of the widow?
Theory for me was that maybe because his wife had not passed, he was kind of lingering behind, waiting for his wife to join him on the other side before passing on.
What are you thinking?
I think I want whatever's in this house out and gone.
Chris and Kay have a hard choice to make. Lie to the children to keep them calm, or be honest.
Christopher and I decided we needed to tell the kids that we think there's spirits in the house.
Heavenly Father?
At last, Chris and Kay acknowledge what the children have known and been talking about for weeks.
We decided that we would pray as a family. We would pray for the sanctity of our home. We would pray for lost souls.
Amen.
Amen. When we prayed together, it definitely made me feel safer.
After the prayer, paranormal activity in the house seems to stop for several months. Family life resumes as normal.
We're thinking, well, this is good. You know, the spirit left.
Months later, Chris is at a neighbor's party. As entertainment, a psychic offers free readings.
What's up with that?
She's a psychic.
Yeah.
She'll tell you a fortune.
Yeah, that's what I need is a fortune.
Come on, it's just for fun.
Nah, man, I don't believe in stuff like that.
You look like you could use some fun.
Oh. How's it going? You might want to take a little easy on me. I really don't believe in this stuff.
Are you trying to restore the past? The past of a grand old house?
She was perceiving my house, so I became very interested in what this psychic had to say.
Give me something from it. Do you have a key?
The psychic hones in on the spirit living in Chris's house.
There's someone unwanted in your house. Someone not living.
She says it's a former owner and that he is very attached to the property.
He's a lost soul.
And I asked her, why won't he leave? I asked her if the ghost were waiting for his wife to pass before crossing over.
No! I hate that woman! The psychic becomes momentarily possessed by the spirit haunting Chris's home.
I'm sorry. That wasn't me.
Her response was, he's not waiting for her. He's just in the house because that's his place. He loved living in that house, and it's his, and he doesn't want you in it.
Chris's encounter with the psychic seems to reignite his conflict with the entity in his home.
Chris starts having his dreams again, these nightmarish dreams.
Chris's recurring death dreams are back. Only this time, they are more frequent and more violent.
You get to the point you don't want to go to bed because you know what's coming. What's coming is a horrible experience where you're being brought to a physical, violent death.
The entire family now feels the strain of the paranormal entity in their home. Sarah often has trouble sleeping.
No one felt comfortable in the home. When you were alone in the house, you would hear the knob shake a little bit, and then you'd hear footsteps or, just creepy sounds. You tried to blame it on the wind, but it really wasn't the wind.
For more A Haunting, go to destinationamerica.com. Chris Gibbons is terrorized by an unseen entity in his dreams, but his family now fears their waking hours.
He looked at me for, well, it was probably like 3 seconds, but it seemed like forever that he was staring at me. I was absolutely terrified.
Hey, princess, what's going on? Hey. What's the matter? It's okay, you can tell me.
I saw the ghost.
Where?
Standing in the doorway.
Chris instantly knows that the entity in his dreams is the same one appearing to his children.
He had slick back hair.
News that the ghost has physically appeared to his daughter affects Chris even more than the terror he experiences in his dreams. It attacks his core mission as a father.
When the ghost involves the children, that dynamic changes because now the people I'm supposed to protect, I'm not protecting.
Chris is not sure how to protect his family against something he doesn't understand. He continues the restoration of his house. This he knows how to do.
What happened?
For Chris, The dream of being suffocated was the worst one yet.
Why don't you go upstairs? Try to get some rest.
For what? So we can do it again?
The nightmare is an escalation that makes sleep almost impossible.
Everybody likes to go to bed when they're tired. Everybody likes to wake up rested. The assaults and the dreams act to deprive you of that basic kind of normal human function.
A week later, Chris and Kay have two friends over for drinks.
Yeah, we're trying. You know, it's been a labor of love.
I was listening to everybody. It was really nice to have friends over. And I couldn't take it anymore.
It's been very hard.
Kay is really kind of the rock in the house. For her to have an emotional breakdown like this, just out of the blue, was very unusual.
Hey, what's wrong?
I didn't want to tell you.
What happened?
Earlier that day, Kay had an experience in the basement.
I had a feeling that something was not right.
Kay senses that the ghost is showing her a scene from the past, a mysterious image of violence committed against a ghost child.
I could feel her. I could feel her soul. She was scared. She was not existent, but she mattered. It was horrible.
I think something horrible happened in this house.
Kay fears that the ghost, while living, may have abused a child in their basement. She has no idea who the child might have been.
I absolutely perceived that event to be a threat to my wife and my children. Absolutely.
I know someone who might help.
Their friend suggests they contact a local spiritual healer.
Look, we're Catholic. I mean, we just can't.
At this point, I was looking for any help I could get.
At this point, we'll try anything, I guess.
The next day, the spiritual healer and her husband, who works with her, arrive. The healer has agreed to share her story anonymously, as she rarely becomes involved in the cleansing of spirits from a home.
When I initially got the call, I was concerned about the whole family, so it was primarily my intuition that said I need to go right away.
Perfectly restored. Did you do the work yourself?
One of the first questions she asked me was, had we been renovating in the house?
Yes. Why? Do you think it has something to do with what's going on?
The entity was present in the house when they bought the house. When they renovated the house and disturbed all of the dark places, that's when this energy became much more active. There was a very strong draw to the basement. Something in the basement was not right.
I can sense. Do you feel what I feel?
Very much.
You need to stay back here. You two need to stay back here.
We walk into that room with the intention of getting rid of that thing, and it knows that immediately. It doesn't have to be told that out loud. It was very clear where it was emanating from immediately.
Will you open that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
They identified that the ghost was in the cupboard, and they had told me he's in that cupboard.
The spiritual healers believe they have cornered a ghost the dark energy that has been terrorizing the Gibbons family and their home. It's the same closet from which Chris was attacked in one of his dreams.
No matter what happens, just stay there, okay?
It tried to push back, and it tried to find ways out of the circle that we were creating around it. And we just kept pushing, pushing. Until eventually it shot out the window all at once.
It's outside now.
Should I get rid of his workbench and all his old tools?
It's a good idea. Make sure you put it outside the boundary line, though.
There may have been some attachment by this entity to his personal things that remained in the house. So if we wanted to avoid that connection, then we had to move that connection off of the property.
The spiritual healer suspects the ghost may be still lurking outside. Chris wants to remove the workbench and tools. Anything tangible that may have been connected to the ghost when it was alive.
The workbenches down there have been built by him. I hope he would face the same fate that his bench had, which is destruction.
And so what we're going to do is create a perimeter here where we're going to want the negative energies to stay over here and the positive energies on that side. Now, the task of creating this boundary is...
They use a water-based solution. Different salts, sands, and herbs.
You're the nurturer. You're going to be the one to protect this house.
Anyone can do the sealing of the property, but it's best given to the mother. This comes from the tradition and the understanding that it is women who create and hold space.
Okay, are you ready to put your heart and soul into this?
She told me I have to take control. I have to tell the ghost to leave and he can't come back. It has to come through my heart, my mind, my soul, and I have to mean it.
This is our house. No negative energies are welcome here.
What we are creating is an energetic wall that those negative energies cannot cross back in.
This is our house.
I felt very empowered to know that I'm a part of getting this ghost out of our house and never to return again.
And our friends.
As Kay completes the perimeter, Chris brings the last of the previous owner's belongings to the curb.
All this junk, it's yours, it's like you, it's gone. It's all going to the dump. Why don't you follow it? My intent about this ghost was hostile.
Sick of this. See all this stuff? It's yours.
In my heart, that ghost could rot.
If you feed an entity through negative emotions like fear or anger, it can create a doorway for it to re-enter. You're baiting it. You're asking it for a fight.
The children are invited back into the house to celebrate and seal the cleansing.
Okay? I want you to think positive thoughts. I want you to think light being all around us, okay?
We called in all of the energies of the universe that are within sacred law, that bring light and love, and we attempted to fill that house with as much love and light as we possibly could so that there wasn't room for any darkness in the house anywhere.
May there be no more darkness in this house.
No more darkness.
May there be only light.
Only light.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for preparing us.
No, thank you. I'm glad I could help.
I think the cleanse worked. I mean, instantaneously. I mean, you knew. You knew. You could feel it. We felt peace in our house.
It's the first time since we'd moved into the house, that I felt like we were us again. I felt a sincere sense of relief.
4 weeks later, the cleansing still holds. Chris, now rested, takes up running again, only to be watched by a familiar figure. For Chris Gibbons, an early morning jog becomes a run-in with terror. The ghost he banished from his property months ago is lurking just a few blocks away.
There was no doubt in my mind that that was the ghost.
If it's still hanging around, then it's still attached to that environment in some way, shape, or form. That would mean that this entity was trying to cross back across and get back into Chris's house.
May God rebuke him. We humbly pray.
Fearing a return of the ghost, Chris leads his family on a nightly cleansing of the house.
I made it my point to cleanse the house, and I also mixed my own Catholic traditions with Catholic
For
prayers.
the ruin of lost soul. Amen.
Chris performs the cleansing ritual every night for weeks, but the family tires of it.
You know, I was thinking tonight we could really focus on the 3rd floor.
Chris would come home from work and say, let's do the ritual. And I'm like, I don't want to do the ritual anymore.
I'm done with this ritual. This is no way to live.
I quit. I gave up.
I mean, the kids and I need you.
That's fine. I can do it myself.
So the ghost had defeated me.
Chris continues the cleansing ritual alone.
I ask for whatever lives in this cabinet to be ripped from the earth and sent to a place where evil lives. I ask for whatever lives in this cabinet to be ripped from the earth and sent to a place where evil lives.
Chris consciously realizes he's in another of his terror dreams, and he can control his movements.
Oh, I know what's going on. I'm in a paranormal dream. You're not going to get me this time.
And sent to a place where evil lives.
And I hit him, with my fist. It felt good. Yeah, I like to think I'm a peaceful person, really, at my heart. And here I am, horribly beating someone senseless, And I thought, this is what I've come to?
Chris realizes that he has tried every approach to attack and defend against the entity, except one, letting go of his anger toward the ghost.
In putting my anger down and trying to deal with this spirit, I really did come to see us as equal creations. He exists because God created him. I exist because God created me. I really called on everything that I thought was good and right in the universe to come here and to show him and to encourage him to do something about making a different choice for himself.
Dear Lord, please confirm upon the lost soul in this house all of your love and light.
When I approached this spirit with a sense of loving intent and a sense of forgiveness, when I made that shift, that was the end of it, as far as I was concerned.
Chris believes the entity has left their home.
Amen.
I loved him out because I couldn't make him leave.
The family may never be able to prove that the ghost is gone. But years have passed since the haunting, and the Gibbons clan has seen no sign of the entity that threatened to destroy them.
It was out of love that the ghost left. And it was out of love that we stayed together through the whole thing.
Hey, we ready to make some music?
I think having survived this haunting, that we as a family have gotten really close.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Our kids, I think, are very proud of us for what we've gone through and what we've done to get rid of the ghost, especially their father.
But for the patriarch of the Gibbons clan, the lack of definitive proof that the ghost has permanently disappeared will always leave haunting doubts.
I don't know that it's over. I mean, I don't know what choice the ghost made. I hope that he has truly moved on. But if he wants to come back, I know how to deal with him.